Hey guys, Bryce Tubbs here. I oftentimes get asked this question, can I open a bookkeeping business? And how much does it cost to start a bookkeeping business? So I wanted to answer this to make sure that you feel really supported and you feel very encouraged about, whether or not you can actually start a bookkeeping business. Now, number one, can you start? Yes. Number two, can you become successful? Yes and yes. Number three, how much does it cost? Let's talk about that in a couple minutes. And before we even go any further, if you want some help going and growing your either accounting business or your bookkeeping business, and maybe you've been trying for a little while, and for whatever reason, you're just not at the place that you'd like it to be, go ahead and click on the link inside the description below to book a call with me to see how I can help you out. At the very least, if I can't help you out, I'm going to give you a game plan and action steps of where to go next in order to make sure you can reach your goal. Either way, you win, and I can't wait to see you on the call. Now, back to what we're talking about. Okay, so can you start it? So the thing that's going to dictate how fast you see success when opening your bookkeeping business is your ability to go and get consultation calls. A consultation call is essentially when you're sitting down with a business owner, either virtually or in person or even on the phone, and you're basically conveying what services you can do to offer them and how you can help them out. And at the end of the call, you just talk about your pricing, your structure, and exactly what are the logistics involved in you working together. Now, most people, when they're starting their business, the first 2 to 3 months, if not 6 months, is spent on trying to look and become official. So they're trying to design their website, they're trying to design their brochures, they're trying to design their business cards, they are getting their LLC, they're getting their E&O insurance, they're getting their business license. And a lot of them, they spend so much time doing that that somewhere along the way, they just start getting very overwhelmed. They start getting very fearful. Now, the way that you can start counteracting that is by getting into action, start getting on the phone or on the consultation or on the Zoom or going and having consultations in person with business owners. Because there's two reasons why. One, you have to get punched in the face at least one time to see, like, okay, so this is what it's actually like. When you're building your website, when you are, getting everything official, you almost have like this kind of like dreamy eyed kind of thing where it's like it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna go and hit like 20K a month in my first week, and like I'm never gonna have to go work again. And you kind of develop the sense of arrogance because things are kind of easy. In some cases, they might not be necessarily easy because you have to jump through some hoops, but it's not like it's emotionally draining. Versus once you actually go and you start talking to business owners and you start getting your first round of like no's or they're not interested or not at this time, a lot of people start feeling like this sense of panic, and it's almost like they almost start seeing red, like they're putting themselves out there for the first time ever in their life in a lot of cases, and the business owner rejects them. They're like, it's almost like you get punched in the face like in a boxing match, and you're just not really prepared, you're not really ready for it. Now, if you've already waited 6 months before you get that first time punching in the face, generally what happens is you're so like afraid, you're so shell shocked that you end up taking between like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 months, 6 months before you ever put yourself back out there again. So the first thing you need to do is you need to immediately, even before you get your LLC, even before you get your LLC, even before you get your insurance, even before you get your business license, you need to start telling people that you're in business, that you're trying to get this off the ground so that you can start talking to business owners and start getting not only rejected, but you start making some traction, getting some referrals, and getting some clients. Even if the clients are not necessarily the highest paid in the beginning, you have to start getting like your feet wet and you have to start getting inside of the game because it's going to allow you to be able to move forward really, really quickly without having to worry about being discouraged. For example, um, one of my students, her name was Ashley, and when she was first getting started, like we were on we had like two coaching calls, and I gave her a number of things to do. And the next time that we spoke, she didn't really do it, and I was like, "What's up?" She's like, "Well, I wanted to do this and I want to do this." I'm like, "Well, what's up? Like, don't you want to make some money?" And we kept digging and we just kept talking. It really came down to she was doing all of that stuff because there was a little bit of like a fear of the unknown, a fear of stepping out, and a fear of actually approaching business owners. And that's very, very common. Like a lot of people have this fear that either the business owner is not going to want to work with them or they just are not quite ready to go and get clients. And what I basically had to do with Ashley was we had to just really kind of write down a list of pros and cons. It's like, what are the good things that can come out of this? What are the bad things that can come out of it? And what is the thing that is actually going to allow you to succeed so you don't have to worry about a fear of failure? So subconsciously, what was happening was she had like tried running a business in the past and it didn't really work. And she was nervous that this was going to be just like that, where she would get her hopes up, she would tell all of her friends and family, and then she would end up looking really bad because she wasn't able to get it off the ground. And what was actually happening was she was kind of having this like self-fulfilling prophecy. So by not starting, by not putting yourself out there, by not facing that rejection, she, she was inevitably causing herself not to make any progress. And by doing stuff like building the website and getting everything legitimized, she was prolonging the kind of relaxed feeling of making progress. But when it came down to actually gaining traction, then it wasn't really happening because she wasn't doing the activities it took in order to gain traction and gain clients. That's the same as like feeling like you're making progress, the same as like busy work in school. Like, I don't know if when you were back in school, sometimes your teacher would give you just random things to do, and it didn't really have anything to do with the overall lesson plan or the overall syllabus or what it took for you to actually go and meet the state's curriculum. If you're in the United States, we have a certain set of curriculum that you need to be able to learn per grade level. And sometimes it would give you work that didn't really relate to that. It's the same thing whenever we're kind of creating things to do. For example, when I was first getting started with my accounting and bookkeeping firm, the thing I actually was creating was I was like, oh, I need to go to the grocery store. And I would literally just go to the grocery store, just walk around and buy like one thing every single day. And then when I would come back home, I'd be like, oh, it's 5 o'clock. I don't work after 5 o'clock. Right. And then I would just like end my day. But it would always be like I would just have like this just time where instead of me doing the work and actually putting myself out there, I had so much fear that I actually instead was just finding reasons and distractions and things that would fill up my time. So it always feel like I'm moving and I'm exercising, I'm like going out, but it didn't really lead to me making any progress. It's the same thing that most people face. And what we ended up doing for Ashley is like once we ended up like just saying, hey, flip the switch, that's when she started really finding success. She got a client for like $900 a month. She got another one for like $1,000 a month. And it happened really, really quickly. Now, a lot of people hear the word quickly. And when I say quickly, I don't mean like it's like a get rich quick kind of thing. I mean, it's more like when you can get out of your own way and you stop having like the negative mental talk about like why you can't do it, why now is not the right time, why you don't have enough experience, why you're not a good salesperson, why you don't know how to do your pricing. Like as soon as you can kind of quiet all of this noise, then there's nothing really stopping you. It's really just becomes a matter of statistics and knowing how to raise your percentage of people who sign up with you. For example, my students inside of the mentorship program on average close between 50 to 80% of the people they speak to on their target consultation whenever they use my six-figure sales flow. Now, when you're first starting out, it might take you like you have to speak to 10 people to go and get one client. And sometimes it might take you 20 people. It took me 35 people I had to speak to before I got my first accounting client. It just because I just didn't know what I was doing. But the cool thing was, at least I got one out of 35 rather than me getting zero clients. And one is better than nothing. And one is all you really need to get inside of the game. And then from there, you can just keep moving and you can get bigger and bigger and faster. And you start getting better and better and start developing your own systems. Now, if you're watching this and you value like time, meaning that you want to reach your goal, but you don't want to have to take 2, 3, 4 years trying to figure this stuff out on your own, go ahead and click on the link inside the description and book a call with me. On the call, I just want to look where you are, look where you want to go, make an action plan of what it would look like for us to work together and for you to be able to reach your goal with the lowest amount of effort and energy possible while being extremely efficient and making sure you know exactly what you need to do in order to accomplish your goal. And then we can work together to actually accomplish that inside of the Six Figure Firms mentorship program. If that's something you're interested in learning more about, go ahead and click on the link inside of the description below to book a call with me to see if I can help you. If I can't help you, I'm going to be really honest. I'm going to point you in the right direction. And I take a lot of pride in being able to tell people like, hey, you're a good fit versus you're a bad fit. Because with running both my accounting firm and a mentorship program, I don't have a lot of time to really waste on people who are not going to have success working with me. So if I do think that you're going to have success based on working with a couple hundred people inside the mentorship program, I'm going to tell you. If I don't, I'm not going to waste either of our time. So if you want some help, I'll see you on the call. If not, you're not quite ready for it right now, I'll see you inside of the next video. And I'll talk to you soon. Have a great rest of your day/evening.